recently we published a video about how to measure the time between two activities in the process. And after that, we received the question about some options regarding this way of trimming a process, a part of the process. And I think it's a good example because with process mining, there are really nuances, there are slight differences, how you can answer certain questions. And that's a good one. I can just briefly show you here. So let's take a look at the purchasing process from the tutorial. What we can see here is there are some activities which have some rework. These are amendment activities. So we can highlight them in this way. All of these are some form of amendment, some change of an existing purchasing request in the process. Now, if we are curious about how long it takes, for example, or how the process looks like until this amendment, and we're not so much focusing on what comes afterwards, but really on this part of the process, again, we can use the endpoints filter here in trim mode. Right? And with this trim mode, all of the intermediate activities become visible, and we can choose where we want to place the scissors, if you will, to cut off the process. Now, if we do this, let's choose all of these amendment activities. Let's first choose trim first, the trim first option. That's the first possibility. So we say trim first. And what you can see is, the process has been trimmed to be cut off directly after each of these amend activities. Now, if we go back and choose the trim longest, what happens now is very simple. We are not cutting off after the very first, but after the very last observation of any of these amend activities. So let's call it trim longest. And then you see in this process map, there's some looping going on because some of these activities take place multiple times, even more than 10 times, right? We can see it even more clearly if we're looking here at the cases view, where we can see, sometimes there's one, but often there's two, three, some even more. I think there's some with 4 amendments, for example. So that means the 4th amendment was the last amend activity, and we have cut off afterwards. And if we compare that with trim first, you will see that it's always cut off after the very first one. So with trim first, you get a smaller scope of the process, which of course also influences the statistics. For example, if we're looking at the case duration, then the mean case duration is 7.1 days until the first change, until the first amendment. While if we're looking at trim longest and looking at the statistics there, it's close to 20 days. So it's almost 3 times as long, but there's nothing, again, there's no right or wrong answer here. It depends on the question that you want to answer, and the process mining tool gives you all the options to really fine-tune the analysis question the way you need it. I hope that was useful. Thanks, everyone. Bye.